Hello guys and welcome back to MERN Stack Socket IO real-time chat app. Right, so in this episode we are going to focus on add event listeners, so we can listen on a new user join the active users when typing. So we can start showing this if the user is active, can show is active, and also on type you can start now showing typing all of that. And real-time update for socket IO chat messages. Right, so this is what we have. Even if you start typing here, there's nothing happen. You can emit a message, nothing will happen. It's only send the message, but we need now to integrate now real-time update. Since we already have socket IO and socket IO connected to our backend, the next thing is now to add event listeners. My name is Shabani Muswamba. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and also like our video. And let's get started. All right, so here I got my project open. And if you don't have a project, but you can at least watch our previous video and also uh, learn how to set up socket IO for to connect from front end and back end. But if you already know how to do that, or you just want to learn how to connect, so I can still walk you through to this processor. So from my back end, we can start with the back end. So we got a folder here, socket IO, which we created in our previous video. So in our socket IO, we see that this is a socket handler. So we just export the module, export this, and on connect, we just get the message connected. But I want to show you, we don't have much in here. We just, we have the middleware. This is a middleware we are using, verified uh, verified socket IO, or verified the token. So this is just to get the handshake, to get the socket ID, or get the socket from front end. What is happening here is we get the token from handshake. And if you go to front end, I want to show you where we are getting that from. Front end context and socket context. Here we are passing. Here we are passing we create the socket. We get a new socket and we pass the URL, which is for our back end. If you take .env file, for front end, this is the URL for our back end, and we pass it here. So we are getting it from Vite. We pass it here, and we pass now the params, which you get the auth, you pass the token and the user ID, the transport, all of that, and we just pass now the socket to the current socket, so we can now check the on connected, disconnected, all of that. So from middleware on our back end, so we get the token from the socket handshake, and we check if the token is provided. If not, we return error. And now from socket handler, you see that we pass now that middleware to socket.io, io.use. So we pass that middleware, and then we just listen on connection, and we just console.log the message. So from our server, this is now the server, where now we initialize the handler. We get the handler, and then the HTTP create the connection, the server connection, create the server, and the socket IO, pass the socket IO, and then also pass the core. So if it's production, we will replace this, for example, here, let's say HTTP or your domain name. But for now, we just we are listening on any origin for a request. So the method we only accept is get and post. And for credential, if you are using HTTPS, so you can pass this to true. Okay, after that we pass now, attach the IO to app, and down here, instead of using, first of all, here we initiate the handler, socket server, and instead to use app.listener, so we use that server, the one we created up here. So that's the connection. So if you save that, you see that the server is initialized, and a user connected. So that message is coming from here, a user connected. So that means everything is working properly. So in this episode, what we want to do exactly is we want to listen on an event. So for example, we want to get online users. We want to get the active users. So to get the active users, we can do something. For example, let's say in memory, in memory. So we can do a map. So we can map to track. So to track the online users. Online users. So we want to create map. So we do const online users is equal to map. So it's actually nothing. And down here, we can now update. We can update online users. So we can do first of all, we can let's create a variable, a function first. You can do const emit online users is equal to, so users is equal to array dot from, so create array from the data from this guy here. So but you can pass here keys, let's pass keys, array from, I don't know what is happening here. Say array dot from from, and then we pass online users dot keys, so dot keys, like this. Okay, so what can you do next? But what we want to do, we want to emit, so we can just pass the URL here. Yeah, so if we also want, we can just create it from the whole thing from here. So this is one way you can create it. So if you take that, now we can take the array users, emit online users, and you see that once user connected, you can send the message here. But what we want to do, actually, we want to do something which is actually something can work. So you can do, instead of that, or you can comment that for debugging. So we can do const. You can get first of all the ID, const user ID, where we are getting it here. See that we are passing the order from the front end, we are passing that user ID. So we can do user ID, socket.user.id. So socket.user.id. So if the user ID does not exist, if not user ID, we can maybe just console.log user not found in socket data. So to just return something like that, because we actually want to make sure that only authenticated user can access it. So we can do socket.disconnect, is equal to true. Socket.disconnect is equal to true. So this is the socket, but we just want to check it. We just want to disconnect. But else, what we can you do? We can check. Let's say, for example, join. We can join the private chat room. So a private chat room. Join a private chat room like this for the user. So what we can do is we take now online users dot set. So we can now set user ID and then the socket ID. The socket ID we get, let me just set that. So we don't want to call we can call now the emitter. I don't want to use that. We can just call the emit online users, this one. So to just notify, say notify all clients. Okay, so we can now create another. We can also create another event. Let's say, for example, let's say socket IO dot on join room or on join chat on join socket IO dot on join chat. So we get the chat ID. We need that chat ID, which we'll get here, and then we just call socket dot chat. So we socket dot join, and then we pass the chat ID. So we can just console dot log join chat ID. We can debug that to see the log. That's for join. So we'll use this. Sorry about that. So we use this from our front end. All right, so this is for on join chat, but you can also put on leave. So on the user leave chat, we can also update. So user leave chat. We can also put. Let's see. If a user join or user join, let's say we can use socket dot on socket dot on active user. Okay, this is actually the same thing as there active user. So we can get the user ID, user ID like this, and then we can just we can take, for example, get the user. So we can get the user. Let's do, for example, const user is equal to online user dot get user. So you pass to just get that user by the ID. So once you get that, we can maybe broadcast to the front end. We don't need to do that. This you can do, for example, some of this method you won't really use them. We just want to I'm just showing you how we can create to start now listening or back and the front end. So I can do socket.broadcast.emit active user, and then you pass the user. You can pass the user like this, and then pass the socket ID. We don't need to pass the socket ID. Actually, you can just pass the user. Yeah. Something wrong here. Oh. Nope. What is wrong here? Let's try to see. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's correct. So let's correct now the one inside. So I can do socket dot broadcast dot emit, and then you just pass user. We only want to pass user, that is this one, and here we don't want to pass the socket. Okay, that's correct for now. On join specific chat, you can this one we don't need this. We don't need this one. Say join specific chat room. So we can do on join chat. Let's say join chat. So we can pass chat ID, the same thing there, and then we can pass here chat.join and then just console.log that. All right, so this is it just for setting up how we can emit the event from the back end. But is we can add much methods. So what I think is we can just add them. So from front end, we can start now listening. So to save time. Another way is we can also let's say handle incoming message. Let's say handle incoming message. We can do socket dot on new message or the new message like this. So we can take message. Okay, chat AI help assist us complete. AI completed this. So chat and then we take message. So we can take a broadcast now. We can now broadcast to the chat idea. So we can take IO. We don't want to do that. That's why you don't also have to use AI sometimes. Sometimes we can take. You can check if there's no chat or chat message, so we can return. If there's no chat ID or message, we can turn in the chat ID or message is missing. Else you can do socket IO. Because you want to broadcast to others, not to current authenticated users, you can do socket dot to, and then you pass the chat ID dot message. You pass the message. We can pass message, but we can pass this key. So from the front end, we will listen on this, and then we just pass the message. We can also do, let's say, for example, typing. For typing, we can do on typing. We can take the chat ID and then also take the chat ID and the user ID. And if it doesn't exist, you can return else to others. So just pass stop typing, and then you pass the chat ID. Or also, if stop typing, we can also pass the stop typing, the same thing. We get the chat ID, or we can take the chat ID and the user ID and just return that. Here, we can just return it. We can pass chat ID like this. And also user ID depend. So here you can pass user ID or can return the whole user, maybe just username. So this is helpful if it's a group chat, so you can see who's typing, who stopped typing, and stuff like that. So the rest you just disconnect, doesn't matter. All right. This is it for some event, how we can create some event. But from front end, on our socket context, we want now to listen. Let's say, for example, we want to listen for on a new user, on join or active users. So we want to listen on something like that. Let's go and listen on that. All right. So from front end context, to listen now, let's say, for example, listen on active users. We can so it doesn't mean that we must put that inside on connect. Where is the on connect? This is on connect. So we don't need to put that in here. We can maybe put let's say, for example, socket. Let's do. You can create let's do, for example, here socket dot on online users. So we get users, online users. We can just console.log them. So if I save that, This is our app. If you go to developer, let's see, you're having an error. Try to reload. Is there something wrong with the server? Nope. This is something to do with the button. We will correct that, but let's focus on this socket connected. Socket connected. So I want to show you where is that message coming from. Socket connected. This is the message. So on connect, we send, we emit to, we must emit to the server on connect. So there's a couple of things we can do here. First of all, this is we need to log out to listen and log out, but here we need to emit to the server. You need to send message to the server. What you can do is socket.emit, not just chat join. Socket.emit active users. Active user. So we want to pass the user ID, active user. So if you go to backend, you want to see where is the active user. This is the active user. So this is the active user. So this is what here now we emit from here. What I want to see, something I'm trying to see here. Are you getting any error message? No. So if you save that, you are not getting any error. So we want to emit this active user, but for user ID, okay, this is how we get the user ID, but sometimes you might also change if that one doesn't exist. Maybe use a underscore so that you don't have to miss the user ID. But from back end, we need to get this like this way. Yeah, we get to access user ID with the that way. Yeah. We can call, but what I can do is try also to let's try to log in with another user. Or we can do open a different browser like this. So we want to see active users. We can create a user and then go to chat. Okay, doesn't matter you go to chat or not, but we just want to see who is connected. So we want to see the connected user. So if the first one reload, this is the first one. If you reload, we get the first one. This one is connected, and is it connected again? Not yet. Now it's connected. So we want to see connected. Yeah. So we didn't emit the connected, but we have to check on that if the user has actually connected. All right. So we supposed to see the result here, but I think we are making mistake. So if we go to this is the one we're supposed to listen on. So on emit here, we need to correct, make sure that's much the same. So if you save that, but you can also try can console.log to check. So emitting, let's see, meeting, and then you can pass the users or users passed like this. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, and pass like this to see. We just want to see if we are actually meeting. So you can see that we are meeting. So this probably should probably work from the front end too. Yeah, it's actually working from the front end. So you can see online users on active. So that is working. So you must be careful with the name of the event you are passing. So that's correct for front end. Okay, so what can we do here? This is for emitting, if active users. But so if you want to do something for active user, let's say we can export the active user list. So we can do, maybe you can create a variable here to hold this. You can do const online users is equal to empty array, and we can export it. Sorry, here, if we get active user, we can set active users. We don't need that again. And now maybe we can just export it. We can export online users here. Online users. So that means we can access this anywhere. Anywhere we want to, we can access actually this one. But it's a couple of things we need to do. So I'm trying to, if I'm seeing if trying to see if we can go faster. Another thing is we can also for join chat. Let's work on join chat. Where's join chat? Yeah, let's work on this one. Join chat. Let's see if we can go do it very quick. So we have seen how we can listen on the event. Yeah, here let's work on join chat. So for join chat, we can do const so join chat. Join chat. We can do const join chat is equal to, so we can use the callback here, the React callback is equal to, so use callback. We pass now join chat. If the chat is not there, but what I can do to handle this very well, we can just do if socket to current is connected, if socket dot current dot connected dot connected, they call the connected method connected like this. But you can check if current is not empty, so we don't have to crash it. We don't want this to crash, so we can just pass. We can just do yeah. We can just do reference socket.ref.current.emit and then join chat. Just pass the chat ID. Just pass the chat ID. Something is missing here. Oh, what is that? Are we still inside the callback? Nope. Say use callback. Use callback. We pass the chat ID and return that. So we can see export this. We will get back to that error. So we can export the join chat. We will use this in the chat. So we can just go ahead and export this. What is the problem? Is not defined. Oh, looks like we are defining that. This is supposed to be outside. Supposed to define that outside so that it can access it. Let's take this. Where you defining this? Oh, yeah, yeah, this is correct. But I don't need to pass the socket. And even that is join. For leave, we can also have leave chat. So if you leave chat, Live chat. Let's see. AI can generate this live chat. We can also use the callback, and we can also live chat. So this you must match. This must supposed to match the. It's supposed to match. If you go to back end, we have just joint chat and live chat. So you see that joint chat, we just pass the chat idea. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, if you pass the chat ID, you see that if you pass the chat ID, if first of all, for you to reach here on connect, on connection, so that means we have already authenticated you. We already know who you are because you use this one. So already know who you are. So the rest of the things we can is happening automatically. All right. So this is for live chat. What else? Um, I think this is it for now. The rest we can handle the rest of the things from the different component. So we can go ahead and handle single chat. Let's say, for example, single chat. On single chat here, we need to bring in for single chat. We can bring in because much of this is happening in a single chat. So for single chat, we can bring in. Let's bring in a socket context. Or socket context is already there. Use context. So here you see that in the socket context, we can get socket and get active users. And what can you do next? First of all, we can create a function to handle incoming message. We need to first of all to get the I don't know what to say that emit a new message, access new message, real-time update. So we need to create a function where we can actually handle all of that. So we just call the function once to handle the incoming message. All right, let's go and do that. All right, so well, we can create another. We can use another use effect here. So use effect here. First of all, let me add let's say real time message. Let's say message listener like this. So if chat ID exists, we can create incoming message, listen on the incoming message, and yeah. So AI could generate this. Yes, it did. All right. So handle incoming message. So we take the message and we just do chat dot message is equal to chat. Message chat. So we access the chat ID from the message. So if it's equal to current chat, so we can just update the message. So we listen on message. If you go to the server, this is the server. I can show you on message. Yeah, this is the on message. We listen on this one, emit message. So here we listen on singular. We listen on message. Okay, if also we can also listen on message offer. So this is also to stand off if everything is completed successfully. Oh, which one is this? This is, did you generate it twice? Looks like we have twice here. We already have that one here already. So we can delete this. It's actually the same thing here. So we listen twice. That was twice. So clear one. Okay, next we can also listen. Can also listen on real-time typing. Do you have that ready? Real-time typing. Oh yeah. Okay, real-time typing is there. So on typing, handle typing, this is handle typing. So if chat.id, we can just set to true, and then stop typing, also listen on stop typing here. So for typing, so this is typing. So is typing, we just show down here, we'll just show it's typing. Just indicate it's typing. So you can add the name to show who's typing, all of that. So you can add the name here, but for now, let's just limit here to save time. Okay, that's for typing. Yeah, that's for typing. What else? We can also use, since we also have online users, uh, for online users, we can check his online user. This is his online user. It's actually here already. So his online user, what happened is, okay, we take the variable. Where is it? Online users. Online user. This is the variable. So anytime if the user is active, for example, here we can console.log, console.log um, online users, and then pass that variable. So if you go back to our front end, so try to go to this user, reload. We want to see online users. Oh, actually, in this one you cannot see because this one doesn't have any chat. But if you this one start actually you join the same chat room as this one, you start now seeing the online user. So what I can do is I can try to sorry about that. You can see the name of this user and then just create a chat. Them together. I don't know the name of this user, but actually automatically you see that you are seeing actually online user there. But I don't know if we can actually see. So I'm trying to see if I can create another user. I don't know the name of this user or the email address, so that you can search for the user here. If you try to log in, let me create a new user to save time. Right, so we have a new user here, but to create a new chat, so we're gonna go to here, get the last one. This is the last user created. So I can say hello there. Are you okay? Something like this. Chat was created. Let's see, the chat was created. So we have also caused an issue here to correct. This the user is correct connected. This is the user. That's why you're seeing here. So if I reload, we didn't get. We're supposed to see the notification. So maybe we can work on notification. You see. So chat here. You can also see the other user that's showing you is connected. So if we can send a message hello back to you. Yeah. So this one, the message was sent. But here we didn't update the message. You're supposed to see back message, so we need to work on that. But if you reload and you see that hello back to you, so the message didn't update it. We didn't update the message, so we need that the event listener we can actually update the message. So I know why it's happening because our controllers. From here, we have these new users. We have all these things set here. Message on new message. So we can listen on new message and save here and listen on new message. But on controllers, let's say chat message. controller. So here, this is where we want to now to listen on a new message, just to emit new message. So once you create a new message, we create a message from the server after creating a new message, and then you can emit it to the client, to the socket IO, and socket IO can now emit to client. Let's go and do that. All right. So for a back end, we need to go to chat. Go to chat controllers and the chat controller. We can start the chat controllers. So this is where you create a chat. I want to show you the function which you reuse to create a chat. Where is it again? Yes, this is the function we reuse to create a chat. So we can handle everything in here at once. Okay, so we can bring in the instance of, let's bring in get IO instance. So we can do const IO is equal to, so we get IO from request.app.get IO. Remember, we from the server here, we are sending, we are attaching, we are attaching IO to the app. So here we are using, we want to get it. So down here, we can start with private chat first. So we just want to meet private chat anytime any private chat is created. Okay, we can scroll. Let's see down here. It's populated chat. Before returning, so this is populated chat. After everything completed, you can now do emit the new chat. So we can take the new unique participant. So unique participant, if you go up here, so unique participant. So this is how we create the unique participant. So we don't want to repeat the users. So we just do unique participant is equal to array and then set the unique user ID to string. So to just set it unique. So I don't want to go over this, but you can follow along slowly. All right. So unique participant. So we can take unique participant and then just do for each. We can do for each. So we can say participant ID. So we can do participant ID to emitter, emit to participant ID, and then we here instead you can pass chat dot created chat created. So if you want to access a created chat in there, so we can also we don't need all of this, but you can just pass the populated chat, populated chat. So as the chat we want to emit, we want to return to the end user. This is the one we are returning to client front end, and we can also do io.participant.id. So we can also, if a message is created message, we also pass populated message. That's correct. So this, I think this is done. We don't have much to do here because even if it's a group chat, it's still a single chat. So we just want to do the same thing there. But I will see if we also want to add something. But unless we want to work on messages, if for example message, you may also want to emit. We can also emit a new message. Let's say, for example, a new message created. When a new message is created, here we only have send message. We have send message, so we can before returning message to the server to the client here, yeah, somewhere here. So we can also do emitter. So we can do io dot get io from the server. If you want, you can do const io get io from the app, a request dot app dot get io, and we can do io dot to, we can do to emit. So you pass the chat ID and emit, we pass message, but we can do chat chat like this, and then pass new message. New message, because the chat ID is the one important. New message like this, and then just pass the populated message. This is the message you return to the end user, because this message will return the chat plus message. So we need a chat ID, we need the message, we need the sender, all of that. So this will return everything. I hope we walk through. I think we have already walked through all of this. Okay. That is, I think for message is only this one here. So we can save this, and we can now just go to our server index. So here we see now that we catch a new message. Where you catch a new message, handle incoming message. So we import, we need to emit message to the client. Let's see. I'm trying to see where is errors here before continue. So we got so much method here. Some we want to use it, but we can just focus on what we are going to use. So we got some event here, a lot of them. All right. So a couple of things we need to do now to start now listening. Since this is their backend is already set, we can go to. We want to check. Let's see. Yeah, we can go to component and input. So this is actually where, if you see here, if you see here, you see that this is actually the way. If the user open input, so that means we can know that this user is actually active and is typing, so we can listen on a new message. So we can do something like here. We can import the messages. We can import, first of all, let's import the socket provider, and we can do const use socket provider like this. Use socket provider. So socket provider, do you have another one or just one? So socket provider, we can import many messages in here, or many stuff in here. So if we go to context here, we can import leave chat, join chat, all of this, because we want to use them here. Import leave chat, and join chat. So we can use effect. If chat, if there is no chat, ID or socket. If there's no chat ID or socket, we just return. But what we can do is we can now send join, and then also on leave we can also return this. We can also on return we can also call the return. But down here we can pass chat, and then also pass socket and socket join and leave chat. Okay, that is it for leave and join chat. So I see that we need to pass the chat ID. If you go back to our context here, you see this guy requires chat ID. So if you go back again to input, after you submit a message, if the message was submitted successfully, uh, if the message submitted successfully, we can, where is this one? So we can notify the users. Message was sent successfully. So notify the server about a new message. So we can do if socket, we can do socket.emit new message, and then chat. We pass chat ID and then we pass the message. So if you go to our index here, this is a new message. We pass chat ID and message. So now if you save that, let's see. Yeah, if you save that, this is the input. Yeah. So we can just get the data, the response from the response from API, Axios response.data, and then pass that to the front end. We can also, we can also emit stop typing, stop typing indicator. So we can actually pass this, since we are already checking socket here, we can just pass this in here. Stop typing and the pass ID. So we can pass the ID also, even if you want, you can pass the user ID. The user dot data ID, user ID. So probably need to get it from the context, but we don't really need that for now, unless if you want to develop much. Okay. That's it. Do you have anything else? Nope. But um, if now we want to use the typing, if you go back to index here, we have typing. So if you want to emit for typing, so that means we can go somewhere down here where you are typing on change. You can handle that on change. So on change, we start typing. We can do, for example, if socket ID, if socket exists, you can do socket.emit typing. So you can pass whatever and pass user ID. But if you also, I can just show you, if you want to get the user ID, so that means we can do const user, you get from author, auth context. Is that correct? Yeah. So we can import what context. Yeah. So if we have the user, and we can use it, it looks like somewhere many places we need to use user. So we can use user dot id or user dot id, which one, whatever exists, I don't know. Yeah. So you can get that and also pass it somewhere here on change. Yeah. Yeah. We can remove this one. So that's on type. But if you start typing, you can also clear the previous. So you can maybe create we can we need to stop when the user stop typing. So we need to clear. Let's say to do that, we need to clear the previous whatever the nope. Okay, what I want to do is we can do const typing timeout is equal to timeout, set typing timeout, and down here down here we can now use that typing timeout. On change, we can do instead, yeah, we can do let's say clear previous timeout. So we can say if typing timeout, we can just say clear typing timeout. And do clear typing timeout. And so this is just going to clear the previous one. And we can also emit stop typing. We can do stop typing, stop typing. So we can do maybe that's correct. You can use something like that. So we can define time. So let's say, for example, timeout is equal to set timeout, and then we pass if stop typing. We can wait for 2 seconds and then stop typing. Okay. Anything else do you need to add in here? So if you save that, we want to see. We don't have anything else here. So if you save that, you can go back. You can try to reload this and then also reload this. We did much change from the server. Okay, this one's loading. We will just open this to see what is happening here. Okay, so for example, if you open this, see the chart, that's the same chart here. You automatically scroll to the bottom, and here if you do, oh, actually this way and this way. Hello there. It didn't show, yeah, but the message event emitted automatically. So that means if you also go to the server, you see that new message you received. So this is actually here, new message. So this is the new message we emit from here. We emit to the server. Okay, so the server got this, and then we also just here we got the message, and then just console.locate. But you must make sure that from the back end, from the controller, so we also assign this new message to chat, to attach the message to chat. Okay, so the new message type, but typing is not, we are not getting something for typing. So we must also go ahead and work for typing. Typing and stop typing. So make sure this is actually correct. On change, yeah, this one. So we can also try to console.log is typing and pass the socket ID or chat ID. So we want to see what is happening there. Let's say, for example, can go to developer tools. If you're typing console emitting typing event, so you can see that we are getting the message. So this must also see the message. You need to handle much. The space is not enough. Okay, so if I could also minimize this one, change the style this way. Okay, so now we can see what is happening on the other side. So if, for example, typing, this one didn't see, but emit the message here typing. Let's see. Hello there. But this one didn't actually emit the message here. So we looks like we've got a couple of things to correct here, to update there. Okay, well, let's try to debug the issues. All right, let's try to debug some issues here. Right, so we want to create a new message. Yeah? So we got a couple of issues. Some of the issues to check on is that we have this error here, says that request is not defined when you're trying to create a new chat. So this is actually coming from 62. If you see here, it says request or request is not defined, line 62 in chat controller. Line 62. This is the one. So another way you can pass the request, or you can pass the IO. So don't need to use it. So that means you can get this one. Just get the IO, pass IO here like this. So that means in every, for example, create a new chat controller. So you must also pass IO. So you can do IO and pass it here. This is one way. And also create chat group where we return the IO here. We return the create new chat. We can also pass the IO like this. So I can save that, reload. The chats that are there, but once you're trying to create a new chat, let's try to create another new chat to see. Let's create with this one. Say hello. Press enter. Yeah, now we didn't get that error, but we must also, the chat was created. But you must also see if you want to handle this, the message error, the message one, we will handle that. Yeah, we will see how to handle that error. But what we want to do now is I can create a chat with the current active user. For example, this recent user just created. This is the user. Say hello there. Hello there, friend. I press enter. Chat was created, but we got that issue that you see is not actually. So what we are returning is not really suitable. So we need to check for what we are returning, so that to make sure that it's going to, we are returning actually the message which can be converted automatically. So this is the current user. This user, not the current one, but this other user. If you go to chat, so this is the chat was created. Yeah, you can see the other one is active. So if you say hello back, the message is there. All right, so this is working properly. This is very nice. So the only thing is we want to show the message on typing. This is me typing. Typing like this. You're supposed to see that message here. You're supposed to see typing here. So we can go and check on that. So it's just about the event, to check which event are you sending to the server, and which event is also returning back. Right. All right. So since we already have emit typing, so this is in our component chat input template. So this is where you have input. We have our input here. So the name of the component. All right. So down here on typing, let's see, where is it? Right, this is typing, socket.emit. So we have this one. So we can check on the back end to see if actually we are emitting the from the back end, we go to socket, sockets, and then in our index.js. So this is the index.js. So on connection, we want to check on we have join, new message, and typing. So we can just console.log here. Console.log user is typing. Okay, if now go back and try to type, say this is me, we can see if the message, yeah, you can see that the message is actually there. The message is here. And if stop typing, we can check stop typing, user stop typing. So we just want to check if this actually is working. Yeah, this is was typing and also stop typing. So that means everything's working properly from the back end. So we send the event, but from here, since here we are checking if there is no user ID and user ID, or there's no chat ID and user ID. So, but what I want to do is, I actually want to, let's lock this after checking if the user ID, because you can see here we have a chat ID and user ID. So if I save that and go back, test like this, so we still seeing the same event. User is typing, say something like xxx. I want to see if that message is actually looking. So we're just trying to see after checking condition. After condition check, what is happening there. So you can see that the messages, we are actually looking the message. So everything is fine here. So we don't have any error. We don't have any error. Okay, back. I can now remove this, since everything is working. So I can just go to front end. So front end, now we need to check if actually we are getting the message here. So that means we have to go to single chat. This is the single chat here. Somewhere we need to show typing. Yeah. We need to show if it's typing, somewhere here. This is where we want to show the typing. I got a variable here, set typing or whatever. And so we need to, here is on new message, that one's working, and off. So on typing, yeah, we need to work on typing here. So you can also listen on typing here. All right. So for front end, we can do something. Okay, from single chat, we can now access the typing event. This is where we handle the typing. So this is socket, and on type and stop typing. So we handle the typing event. So here, since if you see back end here, we are sending the data we get. So we get chat and user ID, and we are, this is what we are passing. So we are passing something as a we are passing our what called that an object. So as you can pass here. So if you want, you can get the user. Const user, you can say user is equal to get user, and then pass this user. Pass user here. But we don't want to do all of that. So you can pass user, for example, pass username, pass whatever, all the information you want to pass here, pass chat ID. But if you go to now to front end to access that, so and then we receive that here. So here we can just do data, because we are not accessing single element. We need to access an object. So we can do we can just set, because we don't need to check here again, because since it's coming actually the same thing. If you want to access the object ID, if you want to access chat ID, so you must pass chat ID here too. So you can pass chat ID. So that means you access that from the front end. So we access that from the front end. So we can see that console.log that, but also this one also must be must be data, and also can access the data like this. So if you go to backend, stop typing. So we also need to pass data. Yes, we are passing object. Okay. So this is correct. So we can console.log, say console.log data. Let's say, for example, is typing, and I pass data, and then console.log stop typing and pass data. So we can go back to the front end, reload that, and then also reload this one. We need to reload there for the event, because we need to to connect, sorry, for chat ID for socket, so that you can connect to the same socket. So here, if I back to this one, and then I can start typing. This is me typing. You see that we are getting a message. So once you stop typing, you see that is typing, and once you stop typing, you see the message here. So if we want to see that here, somewhere here, so if I start type again, you can see that he's typing here, right on the left. So if you want, you can show the name he's typing, but if it's a private chat or one-on-one chat, you don't need to show the name. But if it's something like a group, you can maybe show who's typing. Okay, so we got much we can do. We can play around with a lot of things and do something great. But this was it, the concept. So if you also, I can also simplify this, because since it's this is a playlist, we create a lot and a lot of details. So I don't know. I think this is it. We don't have much to do. Right. So this was it for the chat real time chat messages with private 101 and group chats. MERN Stack, socket IO. All right. So we got much here. If you want, we can still clean up, customize or optimize the code. So much to do again. But this was the concept, how it works, how you can create a private and group chat. So if you want, also leave the comment on description how we can integrate or deploy this to a live server, and also add SSL4 socket IO. Right. If you like the video, please like also the video, hit the thumb up button, and also leave some comment here. My name is Shabani Musomba, and see you in the next video.